Hi everyone, my name is Kira and welcome back to Kira's Book Den. Today I have sorted out an idea for another video. I've been seeing a couple of people doing this. It's the mid-year book tag, and there's a bunch of questions that I'm going to answer for you guys. So number one is the best book I've read so far, and that's Pen Pal by J.T. Geisinger by a mile high. It took me a while to figure out which one, but this one has really stuck with me. Everything I thought was happening, I was wrong about, and it's just such a mind-blowing read. I loved it so much. It's made me want to go out and buy all of her other books and read all of her books. It's fantastic. It's just a fantastic book. And I can't remember which month I read it in, like a fair few months ago now. But yeah, if you haven't read it, just have a go. Even if there's elements you don't like because it's steamy romance stuff happening, it's well worth the read to get through, to see what's happening. Is wow, amazing. Question 2 is the best sequel I've read so far. That is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. This is the second book in the Secrets of the Nile duology. The first book was What the River Knows. It's all set in 19th century Egypt, when the British have just been finished attacking the Egyptians so they can keep their power, basically. But it's all around like the big boom of like the archaeology and the artifact theft and all that stuff. So it's mainly like historical fiction, but with some magical realism thrown in, even though it said it was romantasy. It's not like a full-blown like romantasy as in like Iron Flame or Akatar or something. It's set in a historical background, so yeah. And there's quite a few historical facts. I'm sure there's some fictionalized parts of it as well. There definitely is, but like I just love Egyptian mythology and all that. All the magic comes in with the magic being on actual artifacts and stuff. And yeah, there's a romantic element, well, a big romantic element, because there's like a whole thing about the relationship between Wit and the girl, like whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's so much more than just that, and the world is immersive. The description of the artifacts and Egypt itself, and it's just a fantastic sequel. And yeah, it's great to see a little duology instead of just like a massive series. That was nice to sort of break up all the big series I've been reading. So number 3 is a new release I haven't read, but I want to. Now, I recently just grabbed this. It's The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. So this is more high fantasy, I believe. It sounds so interesting. To kill a monster, she must become one. As the emperor lies dying, the once great Azalea dynasty plunges towards civil war, whilst princes plot for power and more hidden war. To become the next empress occupies the imperial court. So it's just, I found it interesting. I loved the cover, and I got it on a bargain for like $9, so I was like, why not? Yeah, and it's only just been released recently, I believe. Definitely, yeah, this year, so I'm excited to read that. It's just sounds so amazing. Number 4, the most anticipated release for the rest of the year. That's Grim Tidings by B.K. Borison. I read Good Spirits last year and I absolutely loved it. So I'm not sure quite what this one's about. It might be about her friend. I'm not sure exactly. But I love that other one so much that I pre-ordered this one and I will probably read it for this Christmas as well. So that Grim Tidings by B.K. Borison. Number 5, the biggest disappointment of the year. I'm going to go with my most recent one, and I won't go into too much depth because it's one I just finished, so I'll go more into it in my wrap-up at the end of this month. But it's Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. Now, the concept, I was absolutely fascinated by the concept, and there was elements that I enjoyed, but there was a lot more elements I did not enjoy about this book. And again, I'll go into it more in depth in my June wrap-up reads. So yeah, that's Wild Dark Shore. Well, it had so much potential, but it didn't quite hit the spot for me, unfortunately. Though it's really cool that an Aussie novel has hit so big in the US, because that doesn't happen very often, and we have a lot of amazing Australian authors who are big here but don't ever hit big overseas. So that's always a great thing for me when Aussie hits big over in America. That's great. The biggest surprise of the year, once again, pen pal. I've said it before. I wasn't sure what to think about going into this. I go into everything blind as possible anyway. And I had no idea, and I'm glad I went into blind and was just guessing the whole time. It was just a fun time. So yeah, again, that for that one as well. Favorite new author. I had to pick 2 for this one. Definitely J.T. Geisinger. Since reading that, I've gone out and bought a whole bunch of her books, and and I have put a whole heap of hers that are still indie published, I think, into my cart to get eventually. So, and the other one is Isabella Banez, because once I read that Secrets of the Nile duology, I just wanted to find out what else she's written, and the one that's a standalone that I want to try by her is Together We Burn. It's like a mixture of Spanish flamenco and dragons and stuff. So yeah, I was really loved her immersive writing. So I definitely want to give her a try with other books, and she's gonna be your favorite, I reckon. She's fantastic. Another one that's not new to me this year, I guess, but I'm gonna say Chloe Walsh, because the Boys of Tommen series is really, really awesome. I wasn't so keen to read it, but when I started listening to it and listened to the performances of the narrators, they were just fantastic. So yeah, she's another favorite. But I did start reading her last year, so that's a bit of a cheat, but I'm going to say it anyway. My new fictional crush is Cassian from ACOTAR. Now, I haven't gotten to him and Nesta's book yet. I'm only up to... I've only read the first 3 books, so... But even in those, what I've seen of him, I really like guys who have like a sense of humor and stuff. So because I grew up around men like that, and I've got a terrible, not terrible, just a silly sense of humor. So yeah, I really like guys who can be serious when they need to be, but are always willing to muck around a bit. So plus he's fucking cool. So like, yeah, Cassian's my fictional crush at the moment. Can't wait to get to his and Nessa's book just to see more of him. And in the same vein, my new favorite character. This is really hard. I had to think about this ages, but I think, well, I love Gibbsy, and he's not my crush or anything, but he's one of my favorite characters in the Tommen series. Again, he's funny dude. I like funny dudes. But and I like seeing into his background and stuff, which is horrible what happened to him. But yeah, I just love Gibbsy. But I also love Farah from Akatar, because I really like to seeing her growth through the books so far. It's just she's changed so much. She's changed in certain ways, but she's still the same. But she's grown a lot, and I just love following that and seeing that happen. Question 10 is a book that made me cry. I don't cry in books. The most I got in these was a little bit choked up. I got choked up in this one, so that counts as crying, because these ones got me that. I don't even usually get choked up. I feel the emotions inside, but like I don't really express them externally. But those two books were Hot Single Dad by Claire Kinsley. This one is because Linnea, the girl, she has a very similar temperament to me. Like, she's very shy, and she often lets people just like basically dictate what she should do, and she doesn't really speak up about it and stuff. And I could just see I got a bit upset because I could see what was happening to her, and it's just like I understood her. So I felt really sorry for her, and empathetic towards her and stuff like that. So that's that one. And then the other one was Until Adley by Alyssa Milani. Now, Adley is a rock star. She's come home, and she hasn't been home for years and years because something horrible happened to her family. And what made me get really choked up was a little scene in that was really confronting to read, and it was so chilling, and it made me really like, oh wow, whoa, yeah. So I had to sort of back off for a moment and collect myself, because yeah, the whole story is quite sad, but like that one scene really made me choke up, because that would be horrible to experience. Number 11, a book that made me happy. So if you've been watching some of my videos earlier in the last 6 months, well, since I started, last couple of videos, I was wanting to read like a real autumn-y book, and like I wasn't in the mood for spring and summer, because it's not spring and summer here in Australia. So when I read The Honey Crisp Orchard Inn by Valerie Bowman, it just hit the mark. It was low angst, and it was really like all the seasonal stuff without it being cheesy and tacky and making you go, oh come on, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like that. And then she made it work really well, and I love this. I love Aiden and Ellie both, and I loved the storyline. It was such a sweet and fun read. I adore this book. This one, I tend to unhaul some books once I've finished. This one I'm not unhauling. I loved it. I'm keeping it. Same with Pen Pal. I'm keeping that one too. And the final question, number 12, books I still need to read. So these are basically just books that are the physical books that I put into some of my challenges that I'm doing. So I'm doing the 2 buzzword challenges from Books on Lala. I'm also doing, so that's buzzword cover challenge and buzzword title challenge. Then I'm doing the Read Good challenge from Ben Reads Good, and Read Your Shelf challenge, basically. So these are the books, physical books from that. Some of the other prompts I'm using, like audios and a few ebooks, but mainly quite a few audios. But these are the physical books that I want to read. So Fly Away by Kristen Hanna, because I want to read this next. Currently I'm reading Faking with Benefits. I'm like almost halfway through. This is a really fast and easy read, but after this I want to read this one, because I recently read Firefly Lane, and while it's fresh in my head, I want to get to this one pretty much, not straight away. I've read a couple in between, but yeah, next after I finish this. Then this one, Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. That's gonna be, I don't know, I think that's one of July's reads. Then The Violinist of Venice is another July read, by Alyssa Palumbo. This is like a love story set in 18th century, I believe, of Venice, and it surrounds Vivaldi and his music and stuff. So, and they're like a passionate affair. The Book Jumper by, let's see if I can say this, because it's a German name and they can be quite difficult. I won't get it because I can't pronounce German well. But in my terrible English Aussie tongue, Mathilde Glasser. Anyway, so it's a YA book. It's about she can jump through books. Amy is a book jumper, able to leap into a story and interact with the world inside. So it sounds really cool. Then a whole bunch of Aussie authors, actually. The Wattle Island Book Club by Sandy Docker. It's a dual timeline set in 1950 and 2018. She has quite a few books similar to this, like the Kookaburra Creek Cafe, the Cottage at Rosella Cove, and the Banksia Bay Bush Shack. This will be my first read of hers. I've got the others as well. I haven't got around to them yet. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. And then 3 more. The Devil's Crown Part 1 by Monica James. This follows on with Alexi. If you ever read her All the Pretty Things, what's in that? Something's on there. All the Pretty Things trilogy. He was like the bad dude in that. Now this duet follows on. This is the first one that follows on with Alexi. So yeah, will he redeem himself? Or will he just be Alexi? I don't know. Then The Whiskey Widow by Karen Brooks. Now, I've read The Chocolate Maker by hers. Oh my god, that was just fantastic. This one is when Greer McAllister's despised husband dies, she and her young daughter Fen find themselves in a remote whiskey smuggling community in the heart of the Highlands. Here, illicit whiskey making is a means of survival in Scotland under the occupation by the English, decades after the disastrous Battle of Culloden. The villagers are suspicious of Greer, but when she tricks the excise officers away from their illegal skills with a courageous and daring act, they warm to her. So, I'm hoping, I reckon it's going to be just as good as the chocolate maker's wife. So, yeah, I can't wait to read that. And the final one is a dark romance by T.L. Smith, Buried in Lies. So this one, his lips told me he knew me, his hands touched me like we were old lovers. His eyes held secrets of a past I'd never known. I was lost, you see, lost as the flowers that grew in the meadow. The devil told me he knew me, but lies had a way of unraveling even if we didn't want them to. I quite like dark romances. So I'll give that a go. So that is the book tag for mid-year reading and what's been happening. So I'll see you in the next one. That will be my July reading hopefuls, and then after that will be the June wrap up. So I'll see you next time. Thanks again, and bye. Oh, like, comment, subscribe. I always forget to say that. And if you have made it this far in the video, leave me, I think there's a glass of scotch or some sort of alcohol glass for the whiskey widow. So that's it. Thank you, and bye.